All right. Cool. So, we're just gonna pick up where we left off on Saturday, right? So, right, for the most part, right, this is still extremely bearish, right? And the big thing for me is this here, right? This is right, is unwillingness, right? This unwillingness to break this high, right, makes this POI that I'm highlighting here, right, which is either inefficiency fill or any potential SC inside of here, very kind of like I don't really want to play anything off it. Obviously, I'm not trading for the rest of the year, not executing for the most part. I'm just going to be observing, keeping up to date with what happens with price action. But right, because of this unwillingness, this POI technically should not react too heavy in the perspective that it'll take out, you know, previous highs, right? I do not expect that. I don't see that happening, unless, right, we have more catalyst, right? Whereas if we have a reaction, right, then an unwillingness, massive structure break, continuation. That's the only way I'll ever actually want to look for longs on this, right? But unless we break this, we are still bearish. Okay, pretty crazy. I'm seeing this whole move unravel. I didn't expect it to be so fast, just judging off of momentum. But right, it's really hard to look for any type of long positions or any type of long bias when momentum is this way, right? Comparison to here, we have unwillingness, right? So naturally, this should break. So I'm not going to even break this candle down just yet. I really want to see this tap and then see what happens, right? Because there's an inefficiency fill here. So I'm not worried right now. I'm observing, letting this play out, right? But I'm very curious to see what happens over the next 3 days, right? See how this weekly closes. But now we're in EU, correct? Same thing here, unwillingness, right? And it has a pretty similar POI. I believe it was a 3-day inefficiency here. Because it's a 3-day inefficiency, I'm not expecting anything from the open. I'd more so like to see something from the 50% if it actually reaches that high. If not, definitely see what happens at the closure and then maybe try to break down something maybe inside this wick, or just something there. But I'm not really trying to reversal chase here. At the same time, I'm also not trying to find too many continuations because of how overextended we are in price. Right, but right, as we review today's price movement, right, this looks like it really wants to essentially, you know, give us a very impulsive move to the upside. And the reason why I'm saying that, right, is because what the, hold on, I cannot see my keyboard. Okay, here we go. Right, because we're potentially seeing a reaccumulation happen right before our eyes, right? In the aspect, right, pre-supply, buying climax, automatic rally, secondary test, right? Mess showing a tand, creek showing a tand, continuation, right? So whereas here, right, preliminary supply, buying climax, right, automatic rally, you can even see this as a potential spring or secondary test, right? But what I like about this is that it showed its hand immediately afterwards, right? This showed its hand, right, signaling to me, right, that we are now in bullish structure, right, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then we had this whole news drop off here this morning and this afternoon. So the cool thing to note here, right, I showed you guys the potential, well, the before after from here, right, where this filled inefficiency, right, and then cleared liquidity here, right, that was derived, right, from the fact that we're so overextended, right, this never reacted from a POI, even though it reached up here due to bullish order flow, right, this never fully reacted from any type of POI, didn't even top previous structure, right? So this low had no reason for me to sustain itself. It's just I didn't have a reason to continue the sell-off, right? Which is why I waited until here, right? Until I showed you guys this, right? We obviously have equal lows, right? We have an impulsive move, right? Very low volume, and the one time we see a peak in volume, right, it's more so a grab, right? And I say that by the nature of the candle itself, right? And we actually reacted from M15 wick and M5 candle here, and then from there we gave a extremely deep retracement that did not take a previous low, signaling that it's only adding liquidity here, right? So even if this wasn't a highly probable trade for some of you, right, this now showed its hand after taking liquidity, right? Higher high, higher low. I mean lower high, lower low, I'm sorry. And then from there, we got a retracement, continuation, retracement, continuation, retracement, continuation, right? And then this was the FOMC move, right? The FOMC move, right, did not break structure. Did not break structure, showed unwillingness, and then started to react, right? Yes, it broke the slow, right? But notice how we immediately dropped down just to come back up. And not only that, but we then broke that structure point there, right? It's probably a M5 high. So, right, I will not see this as a bearish break of structure, right? Even if we broke here, because the high that took the last low was taken here, right? And now it's currently still moving up. I do see this still continuing. I don't really see a reason for it not to. But for the most part, very confusing, very sloppy, which is why I'm not really trading now. I don't want to force anything. There's no reason to put myself at a risk now. And just look at how choppy the price action is from where everything is reacting, right? Yes, it makes sense from a narrative structure perspective, but it's not really making sense from an order flow perspective where we're actually seeing where moves are happening from, right? Obviously, this M15 inefficiency fill here, right, is one of the only clear things, right? But I just don't like how there was already liquidity there, right? And then you had slow momentum on the way up, but then we did break structure, right? So, and unfortunately after that there was no pullback until here, but then this didn't really make sense, right? The only POI that would have made sense was around here, but unfortunately that didn't react from there. So from now I'm just honestly observing and just keep continuing to see structure play out, right? So the only way this reaccumulation fails is if we don't start seeing very impulsive high volume moves here, right? Because the transition has already happened, right? Hence the SOS, BOLPS, and the continuation to the upside. Because that's already happened and we've already taken structure and we've already completed the schematic, this should start pumping, pretty fast in my opinion. And if it doesn't, then the schematic can easily fail and we can easily see a liquidity grab and then give a type of pullback now because this is a very high probable zone. So for the most part, I'm not touching this. We're so super overextended, right? This reaccumulation can easily not sustain itself and start to give us a bearish push to the downside, Right, so just be wary. Another one here. Right, EG. Right, remember what we spoke about with these equal lows. The only way we're going to take these equal lows out is if we see a bearish structure shift, right, or we see bearish order flow starting to appear, right? So, right, actually I'm gonna load another chart too. Right, I'm gonna reference both. So I call this here a turbulence point because there's an interruption in price before we gave that final push, which led to, I believe, an H8 inefficiency. No, H4. Yeah, H4 inefficiency here. But obviously, this is extremely hard to trade, and we're still in very high bullish momentum, right? But look at where the weekly closed here, and then look at where the weekly opened, right? Because we broke this turbulence point, and the reason why it's so significant to me is because this caused that final move up, meaning that if we're going to continue, right, it would only fail inefficiency or mitigate something here and then continue higher, right? Why? Because the volume, because there's volume in this range, right? So if this breaks, right, and seeing it from an Orlando perspective, once this breaks, right, I consider this now a bearish break of structure because we've mitigated from somewhere, we've broken structure here, right? So now all I'm doing is trying to find a continuation. So as you can see, we pretty much filled inefficiency there, right? And tapped structure again, and I believe from there we had a very nice play here. Right, so push here, unsupported move, extremely low volume. This is right during London, and then from there, right, there's a candle there. Right, so, right, high volume, buying climax principle. High volume, buying climax principle, right? Meaning that if we continue higher, it's for a reason, which is this inefficiency fill, but we're now in unsupported volume, creating an unsupported move, which then leads to a break of structure, right? And this is actually an M5 candle here, and as you can see here in M1, right, we came back to mitigate that, and then proceed with bearish order flow, right, which then led to this target here, and now the next target should be here, unless from an intraday perspective, right, I see this high break, and I say that because this is my point of invalidation. Right, as we're looking at structure here, right, this is the high that broke previous structure here, right? So I really want to see this, honestly, just continue. I don't want to see this stall for too long, right? I don't want to see this stall for too long, right? Because this is now showing me unwillingness to break this low, right? So I just want to see this fall. I want to see this fall. I want to see this continue, just to give us a very clear sense of direction, right? And not to mention tons of liquidity sitting here, right? And if we substantially break this low, right, then we now have the final leg that led to this final mitigation broken. So now the overall swing perspective is also bearish, right? I'm still fully confident in this bearish sell, even though a lot of my positions were broken even. I'm still holding one from up here. And then I did enter here during London. So for the most part, like I said, I'm not executing anymore. Starting today, I'm not executing anymore. I don't see a point in it. I want to work on I want to finish the course for you guys. And then I also need to work on a project, on a side, I don't want to say side hustle, but I got to work on a project with a very important guy on a very important topic. So I'm more so focusing on my priorities now, which is you guys, and obviously the project, and then also getting ready for the new semester next semester. So because of, obviously all the great trades that we've had this year, I don't really see a need to continue risking. And the cool thing is that maybe by the time New Year starts, right, we would have already taken out this liquidity here and this liquidity here, right? And if we've already taken that out, then we now have a bias for pretty much the rest of 2021, right? Because if we take these out, that is now a very clear sign of weakness, right? And if we've been calling this for pretty much months now, right? Seeing this happen before our eyes, right? And it's only just beginning. That's the cool part about it. It's only just beginning, right? And the cool thing about having a bias, right, like that is you learn, like for example, EU this year, right? Because we've been super bullish on it, had every reason to be, right? A lot of us have caught very nice trades over the past couple months, right? Because we knew the overall bias, right? So I hope the same thing happened with EG, and then also GU, right? Because this is also finally popping off, even though it took forever. Right, once we take these highs out, right, obviously you have a lot of room for the next couple months with a next target being there. Right, so I'm seeing 2021 to be pretty straightforward, to be honest. I saw 2020 more so as a turbulence year because of COVID and everything that COVID brought. But yeah, other than that, I mean, do you guys have any questions? Sorry if I sound a little tired, guys. I'm actually really tired today. Does anybody want to bring anything up? And this is also the time for you guys to study up. All right. Honestly, most of these Zooms are pretty straightforward. I try not to complicate too much. And yeah. But yeah, any questions from anybody? Are we cool? Doesn't have to be even about trading. You can just ask me whatever. Loving the process, bro. Lovely, bro. Love to hear that. It's cool, right? The process is cool because you're seeing it happen, right? Even though I'm reviewing these, for the most part, I've kept the same bias for months, right? And we're seeing this manifest before our eyes, and I believe that's super powerful. What's the project? Well, pretty much I have to review a risk portfolio. I have to determine how to move millions of dollars more efficiently, and I have to figure out how to make a brand more appealing. That's all I'm gonna say. I can't really say much more than that. So yeah, I'm working on some stuff for next year. Yeah, it's not a school project. Yeah, bro, we predicted EU, we predicted EG, we predicted GU for the longest, right? And it's not even just me. You guys see it. That's the point that I'm trying to make. You into setting goals for the new year? Yes and no. I'm a really day-to-day person. Like today I'm gonna get this and this done, right? Tomorrow I'm gonna get this and this done, right? Because I know where I'm going in the next couple years, right? But I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of weird to explain. Kind of weird. Say my goal next year is to get back on this trading journey, then why not start today? You don't have to execute to consider yourself to being back on a trading journey. You have to just continue studying and all that. Yeah, and that's the cool part, bro. I think honestly, I'm dead serious when I say this. I think we've weathered the storm. I think we've weathered the storm. Right? I think dollar will probably give a decent pullback eventually, but I think we've weathered the storm, aka COVID, and we should see very good trending markets for the rest of 2021. It just makes all the sense to me. That's why I say that. We're gonna have future projects end of the year last year. Yeah, I mean that's all you need. Right? Something cool too. Something I noticed today about myself, that I'd like for you guys to also pretty much do, or not even do, but just more so acknowledge, is like, for example, today I was at my not at my gym session, at my field session, and I was doing an exercise and I realized, like, yo, I just realized that I'm at the field right now, not giving a single fuck about whatever's happening on the charts, whatever's happening in the Discord, whatever's happening on Instagram, whatever's happening at my house, whatever's happening anywhere, right? And I've realized that whenever it comes to working on something, I'm really good at canceling everything out, right? Because at the end of the day, everything can wait. My focus right now is this current session, right? And that's kind of what I mean with being efficient. Because a solid hour session, right, is much better than 1.5, 2 hours, where every couple minutes or every couple exercises I'm on my phone, answering people's questions or doing something. So for the most part, if you block out your day to do X thing 7 to 9 a.m., do X thing 8 to 10 p.m., right? Just make sure you're fully focused on whatever your task is, so you can get that task finished and you can start working on your next task, potentially even earlier, right? But yeah, guys, that's all I pretty much got for today. And I'm also happy that the community has been very positive these past couple weeks, especially with a lot of newcomers. I really like that. I really like how you guys are being so nice to each other. Collaborative, right? Remember, RCV as us, we, not I, me. But yeah, other than that, I think I'm gonna end the call now because your boy has been up since 6 in the morning, and it's 9:30, and I still have work to do, and I still have to wake up tomorrow at 6 a.m. Right, because the grind doesn't stop. So I'll see you guys later.